Hey everyone, Jordan Roberts here today. We're at Budds Creek for the 2016 Husqvarna media launch. A couple surprises before we even showed up. The Rockstar Husqvarna team's here to ride, spin some laps with us, the whole pro team. And we also have 4 brand new motocross models. We knew nothing about the specs or anything like that before we got here. But luckily we have Oliver Goring, and he's going to tell us a little bit about these motocross models.
Yeah, here you see the model year 16 450 Motocross Husqvarna. What you've already mentioned, so we've been going through basically every single component of the bike. So everything is brand new bodywork, new frame, new suspension, and also brand new engines. So what you will find on the bike is a really significant reduction of weight. For example, the 250s and 350 four-stroke bikes have a weight reductions to up to 5 kilos. So this means they have now a weight of 101 and 100 kilos, respectively 250, 350. On top of that, the engine power has significantly risen. The usable power band, the torques from the very bottom to the top, you will find 56 horsepower on a 350. So I reckon this makes the 350 already on the same level than any 450 out there in the market so far. On top of that, the 450 has increased the horsepower to 63 horsepower, and we reckon this is now with together with a weight reduction of more than 5.3 kilos compared to the previous 450. It's for sure the best performing bike out there in the market, actually.
Yeah, and so as far as imperial measurements, this bike weighs about a little over 225 pounds. So that's one of the lighter bikes in the class. Fortunately, myself and Rockstar's James Hansen, we're going to go out, spin some laps on them, and tell you guys what we think. And that'll wrap it up here at the 2016 Husqvarna media launch here at Budds Creek. It's pretty humid out today. The track was pretty beat up, so it's actually pretty good testing conditions. The only bike out of the 5 that wasn't different was the TC250. Other than that, all brand new bikes, including the TC125, which you got a lot of time on. What do you think about that bike, James?
Obviously I love 125, and I mean, who doesn't? You know, they're one of the funnest size bikes to ride around for sure. But I noticed that the power was pretty good. You know, I'm a bigger guy, and the hills are big here, and the ruts were pretty deep. So I noticed it was pulling me around and up the hills pretty good. I had to shift a lot and play with the clutch a bit, but I was impressed with the power for a 125 right out of the box for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you hitting a tabletop kind of out of an inside corner, so it had to be pretty decent, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as you're shifting 2 or 3 times in the corner, as is with any 125, keeping it on the pipe, in the power, it'll stay there.
All right, so now let's dip into the 4-strokes a little bit. We haven't really rode any 4-strokes that feel kind of like this. The ergonomics are completely different from any other bike, by that means. The first thing I noticed when I hopped on the bike is that the back end feels a little wide when you slide your legs back a little bit. And it's not to say when you're riding neutral and you have your legs clamped down to the seat, it actually helps hold your legs in that neutral position. but you felt a little bit different feel right away.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that, you know, it was wide in the back. I didn't really notice that. I noticed that it was narrow in the front, which is something that's very important to me. It's a pet peeve to me when bikes are wide in the front for gripping. You know, I like the shrouds to be sleek design and narrow, but even with if it is wider in the back, that kind of helps me with the way my feet float around. You know, when you're coming over jumps, perhaps it keeps me from flying off the back of the bike and stops my legs, and it helps me grip in the back when I'm in the air.
Yeah, I will agree that the shrouds, they were pretty sleek. Had no problems, especially in these off-camera corners where you really had to throw your leg up there. No problem getting the boot caught on there or anything like that, or the rear number plates for that matter. You got quite a bit of time on the FC 250. What'd you think of that bike?
Yeah, same thing, but like we were saying, sleek design, but I felt really comfortable on it the second I got on it. You know, it felt like I'd been riding it all day, and it was the first time I ever rode it, obviously. Husqvarna FC 250, and including the new one, obviously. So, you know, just jumped right on it. Power was good again on that one, and I just felt like it was really comfortable, and the ergonomics suited me perfectly.
And as for the FC 350, this is actually second time I've rode this bike, but the previous model was a 2014. Definitely a different feel from that, but still your general same 350 feel from the engine, just the way it pulls up through the RPMs. Kind of a 250 characteristic down low, not quite like the 450 grunt, but at the same time, you get more power for a longer amount of time.
So do you think it's a good bike, you know, for a bigger guy that doesn't want the power of a 450 because they're strong and are too big for a 250F? Do you think it's a good intro bike for someone that needs something in the middle?
Yeah, totally. I think it's a perfect in-between bike. I will say that just the overall handling feels more like a 250. So if you do like a bike that's a little bit heavier and that may plant into corners, maybe you should pick a 450 because of that. But what we were talking about earlier, the FC 450, even though they boast 63 horsepower, it's really not that crazy. It's actually pretty manageable power delivery.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, manageable. Like you were saying, it's very rideable. 450 is sometimes hit too hard, and you know, if you don't ride a lot or you haven't ridden for a while, it's a lot to hold on to. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you know you're going fast when you're on the FC 450. You know, you can tell. But the power delivery is so smooth going into the corner and coming out and, you know, through the shifts that it's just very easy to ride.
Yeah, and then the other thing I think that really helps with that is this bike actually lost quite a bit of weight. It's only 225 pounds this year, which is definitely one of the lighter 450s out there. So overall, all the bikes lost weight, considerable amount, all new from the ground up, all new ergonomics, everything. Not a single component of this bike is the same from the previous year. So can't stress that enough, and really encourage everyone to go out and ride some of these. So thanks for Husqvarna for having us out here, and stay tuned for Ping's Dialed In segment where he tells you a little bit more about the setup on these bikes.